you ever heard someone say, I thought once I bought the home, everything would just be easy? Well, sometimes it does work like that, but sometimes it's more like, wait, I have to change my AC filter every 3 months or my system will break? Whether you're ready now or just starting your journey, we're here to walk with you every step of the way. Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Purchase Path, where we break down the real steps to home ownership with clarity, honesty, and hope. I'm your host, Des Losberg, founder of Azcension Homes, and today's episode is all about what happens after you close on your home. Because the truth is, the journey doesn't end at the closing table. That's actually where the adventure begins. So let me ask you, have you ever heard someone say, I thought once I bought the home, everything would just be easy? Well, sometimes it does work like that, but sometimes it's more like, wait, I have to change my AC filter every 3 months or my system will break? What is that? And so sometimes our homeowners actually get hit with their water bill that is $200 more a month. They didn't know that their landscaping irrigation was leaking, and all of a sudden they get hit with a higher utility bill. So today we're going to talk about the real life experience of being a homeowner, the joys and the costs that don't always make it into brochure. So that way you are educated and you are armed with the knowledge to be able to go out and shop like an educated and seasoned buyer. So let's start with the good stuff, because when we hand over those keys, something shifts. For many of our buyers, it's the first time they've ever felt home ownership pride. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means no more rent hikes, no more landlords showing up unannounced or giving notices that they got to inspect their property, invading your privacy. And finally, you get a space that's yours. You get to paint that wall whatever color your heart wants. You get to plant, you get to personalize, build, adjust, and you don't have to ask permission. It creates freedom and flexibility and that peace of mind that you are a homeowner. So you're not just opening a door, you're opening the next chapter of your life. And that's the emotional reward that drives what we do here at Azcension Homes. Because I've seen it firsthand. When we hand over those keys, parents cry, kids bust down that door, running down the hallways, and veterans stand with attention in their living room with that sense of pride of home ownership. And that's the moment that's priceless, not only for us, but for them. So let's get into the real talk, because with that joy comes some responsibility. So owning a home isn't like renting, and that's a good thing. But it also means you got to be prepared for the stuff that nobody likes to talk about, investors, other builders. So we want to educate you, so we're fully transparent and you are armed with that knowledge to go out and shop confidently. So let's walk through some of the hidden costs of home ownerships. So the number one thing we'll talk about is utilities. So when you rent, sometimes you don't have to pay the sewer bill. Sometimes your garbage is included. And when you own, that's all on you. So there is no negotiation on who covers what. And if you're here living in Arizona in the summer, you know what happens in the summertime. That air conditioning is running 24/7, and those power bills shoot up quite a bit if you don't have solar in those summer months. So it's like a second mortgage gets hit all of a sudden when you check that mailbox. So that is something that you need to be prepared for and budget for. So let's talk about number two, maintenance. And this is a big one. So when you're renting, all you got to do is call the property manager, call the homeowner, and they will come out and fix it. Yes. But if you're a homeowner, you have no one to call for regular maintenance. You're going to have to schedule annual or yearly air conditioning maintenance. You'll have to flush your water heater. You're going to have to maintain your landscaping, and you're going to have pest control. Yes, you Arizonians know exactly what I'm talking about for pest control. And so those are things that you sometimes don't have to cover when you're a renter. The number three thing I want to talk about is HOA fees. Now here at Azcension Homes, we do not build within HOAs, so you do not have to worry about that additional monthly cost. But most importantly, even if you do select an HOA, there are benefits to it. They do go up over time, just like your taxes and insurance. And if there's an expense, a capital expense that the HOA determines as needed, that is shared amongst all the homeowners within that association. And don't forget, within the HOA, you got maintenance fees and fines, you got parking fees and fines, depending on what the terms are for the HOA, but those are additional costs that sometimes you don't expect. So if you don't want to deal with that, look for homes that are not within an HOA. Number 4, property taxes and home insurance. Now I know what you're thinking, like, yeah, Des, I get it. I already know my mortgage payment includes taxes and insurance. And yes, that is true. It should be set up that way. However, what most people don't realize is those amounts go up over time. That's right. The county will reassess. As your value goes up, your taxes will go up as well, your property taxes. And then your home insurance will go up as well. Those monthly premiums will increase over time. So even though they're embedded with your mortgage payment, they will slowly trickle up your monthly payment over time. And if you pay them separately, you'll have to budget for a higher amount to pay when that time comes. So let's talk about building a budget. You might be asking, well, okay, now that we know about all these extra costs, how do we plan for all of this? So let's talk about budgeting like a homeowner. So here at Azcension Homes, we recommend 1% saved on your property value. So if you own a home that is $270,000, we recommend that you save $2,700 a year or $225 a month, and put that aside in a separate account. Now that might sound like a lot, but here's the thing. If you budget for it and put it aside, you won't get surprised. It'll give you a peace of mind. And over time, if that builds up to a larger amount, you could do that home improvement and not have to finance it. So if your water heater goes out or there's a capital expense you were not expecting, you will not have to dip in to any of your monthly budgets to take food off your table or anything else. You're not scrambling, you're essentially covered. So a tip from our pro team is to separate a homeowner reserve bank account, put everything in regards to your home into this account. Do not mix it with your personal funds. Take your maintenance, insurance, and cushion money, put it all in there, and that way you're thinking like a true homeowner, a builder, an investor, and not just a buyer. But now let's switch gears, because while there are real costs, there's also a real return. And it's not just financial. Owning your home gives you so many benefits. Now, you might be hearing everything previously and thinking, man, that is a lot I have to worry about. I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather just rent. But here's what owning a home gives you. It gives you stability in a world that's always changing. You're never going to have to worry about getting a notice or a rent increase from your landlord that you're going to have to move. You're going to have freedom to create, paint, garden, renovate your home without asking for permission. If you're buying a home, you are an adult, you shouldn't have to ask permission to make changes. And once you're established in your community, you are not just a visitor anymore. You now make your friends, you build your community, and you create that peace of mind. And lastly, you have generational impact. That's right. Owning a home doesn't just give you that pride of ownership. It projects your family into the next level. It ascends you to generational wealth, and you can build your equity, sell your home, take that equity, buy something else, upsize, downsize, or even better yet, turning it into a rental or leaving it for your children. So it's not just equity, it's a legacy. So at Azcension, we design our homes with all these values in mind. Our utility bills are typically lower than an existing home because of our energy efficiency. We have smarter layouts. It reduces wear and tear, and we have builder warranties, so you're not alone when the unexpected happens. So we don't just build homes, we build systems of support. So today, here's what I want you to take away. Owning a home isn't about perfection. It's about preparation. You're not going to have all the answers, but you'll have the keys. And with the right mindset, you'll figure out the rest. And here at Azcension, we're not handing you a house. we're walking beside you while you build a future. So thanks for listening to today's episode of The Purchase Path. If you found value in this, please share it with a friend, a family member, or someone who's been on the fence about homeownership. Check us out at azcensionhomes.com for more resources. You can always email us at team@azcensionhomes.com. That's AZCENSION homes.com. Or follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Remember, the sky's not your limit, it's your baseline. The cost of living has pushed too many families out of the communities they love. They work hard, but still can't afford enough space. Rent keeps rising, and home ownership feels like a distant dream. That's where the Purchase Path comes in. I'm Des Losberg, founder of Azcension Homes, and I retired after 22 years in the lending industry after I kept seeing the same pattern. Good, hardworking families getting locked out, not because they didn't deserve a home, but because no one ever showed them a real way forward. This podcast exists to change that. Here you'll learn about real paths to ownership like zero down financing options, down payment grants, lease to own programs, and financing options that are actually designed for families like yours. This isn't about fluffy dreams or get rich quick advice. It's about clarity, options, strategy. So whether you're relocating, renting, or just tired of waiting, you'll get the tools and the truth to move forward one step at a time. Follow The Purchase Path now on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen, and start your journey with Azcension Homes. Your path, your purchase, your time.